It's been a while since I've done a pre-code film. They never really do well on the channel, but honestly, whose fault is that? Welcome to Exploitation Reviews, and me, Rob. Today I'm taking a look at Three on a Match from 1932. This one is a bit light on the exploitative elements compared to something like Babyface or Red-Headed Woman, but there's still plenty of shocks and surprises here, and it goes to some places that earns it a place here on Exploitation R&R. Oh, and it has an early appearance of one of my favorite Hollywood actors, Humphrey Bogart. Yeah. So let's take a look. We open with some kids on a playground. One of the girls, Mary, is a bit wilder than the others. She doesn't mind showing off her bloomers, and she skips school to smoke cigarettes with her boyfriends. My kind of kid. Her friend Vivian almost rats her out, but she ends up doing the right thing thanks to some encouragement from Ruth and doesn't snitch. But despite being a troublemaker, Mary does graduate with her friends and then goes right to reform school. This movie is from 1932, so the reform school parts are, okay, well, they're a bit less entertaining than something like Reform School Girls, but there's still some fun to be had here.
Will you stop reminding me of heaven? I'm so close to the other place.
Oh, what a great line. Fast forward a few years, and the girls are now women. They hadn't seen each other for 10 or more years, but after meeting quite by happenstance, they organize a lunch to reconnect. Mary has managed to turn her life around and is working as a showgirl. She's not overly successful, but she is happy and stable. Vivian is stable and should be happy. She is married to a very successful lawyer and has a kid at home, but something's not quite right. And the third girl, or now woman, Ruth, she doesn't really play a huge role in this film, even though she's played by Bette Davis. You probably know that name. The main drama in the film revolves around Mary and Vivian. Vivian's husband can tell she's not happy and they talk about it and decide Vivian should take a vacation. When she and her son are about to set sail on this vacation, Mary comes on board. She's not going anywhere, she's just there to go to a send-off party of a few friends. She invites Vivian to tag along and Vivian spends some time dancing with Michael. Vivian ends up liking Michael a bit too much and decides she doesn't really need a vacation. What she really needs is to leave her husband with her son and not tell him where they are and spend her time partying and doing drugs in a crappy hotel room with Michael.
Bitch, are you for real?
Yeah, she's a great decision maker. Her husband, understandably, is none too pleased with the situation and he hires some people to track them down, but it doesn't work out. Mary finds out where Vivian is holed up and is concerned this isn't the best environment to raise a child. She's right about that. She tries to get Vivian to allow her to give the kid to someone who will actually take care of him, and when that doesn't pan out, she goes against her better judgment of butting into other people's business and tells her husband where to find them. She and the husband end up rescuing the boy, but he doesn't stay rescued for long. Vivian's boyfriend owes some money to some gangsters, one of which is played by a very young Humphrey Bogart. Pretty cool. He decides to kidnap the boy and hold him for ransom. And when these gangsters find out who this boy is, they decide to involve themselves and ask for even more money. Oh boy, did this movie get dark fast. But that's enough out of me as far as plot goes. Let's talk some highlights. There's a lot to like about this movie. First on my list is the acting. Lots of great stuff here. Joan Blondell is fantastic as Mary. She's charming and super cute. Just lovely all the way through. And of course, how cool is it seeing a young Humphrey Bogart? Watching him here, he is so cool and his line delivery is so great, it will remove any wonder you ever had about why this guy broke big.
Ace will understand that, won't he, Harv? He'll understand that.
I don't know, Loftus. He's pretty dumb sometimes.
Yeah, dumb like a fox.
For one thing, he expects a check to lay there when he puts it down.
And mine bounced, Harv?
I mean, his line delivery is so good, it doesn't even sound like it was written by the same person who wrote the rest of the script. He's just that cool. And finally, I have to praise the story. One of the things, and I've mentioned this before in some of my other reviews of pre-code films, but one of the things you'll notice is that the stories feel a lot more modern and more realistic than the stories we got from movies in the 40s and 50s. And, Three on a Match is no exception here. You could remake this movie today with very minimal changes, and it would work. Sure, like many pre-code dramas, this is a bit of a morality tale, but even unlike modern Hollywood movies, the messaging here is not the least bit preachy, and in fact the moral is pretty good. If you want to get involved in a life of debauchery and drug use, don't bring your kid into it. But the movie isn't perfect. Like an unhappy wife stepping out with a loser of a boyfriend, it does have some shortcomings. Well, some people do complain about the child actor in this movie, so if you're the type that gets overly annoyed by child actors, be aware that there is a child actor in this movie. Personally, I thought he did a fine job. Sure, he's a bit annoying and, too cute for his own good, but have you ever hung out with a 3-year-old? That's exactly how they are. They're annoying and too cute for their own good, and the only reason people don't strangle them to death is because they're so damn cute.
Don't go, Daddy.
Come along, Bob, and let Junior go to sleep.
I'll be there directly. Now, what's the idea, young man? Why don't you go to sleep? Huh?
Look, I didn't mean to break it, Daddy.
The only thing that I didn't really like about the movie is there are these sort of like newsy transitions between the time periods, and I found them to be mostly stupid and pointless. I mean, I didn't really need to know it was the beginning of Prohibition when these girls were in middle school, and I certainly didn't need to know that the heavyweight champion of the time was this guy named Dempsey. Don't care, not important, it adds nothing to the story. And that's about it, really, and it's not even like it pads the movie out very long. The whole movie is still just about 63 minutes long, super short, totally doable in an afternoon. I mean, you're probably going to spend that afternoon doom scrolling on Reddit anyway, so why not just fill that time with a fun movie?